Evening troopers, I'm fat and I'm just waiting for God to end this nonsense. But I've been on holiday today, which was lovely. I've had a weekend away, and while I was away, I was bought a present. And it made me think that in all the time I've been doing these videos, it's like 6-7 months now, I've never really talked about Star Trek. Which is odd because I've done loads on Star Wars, and if you put a gun to my head and said Star Wars or Star Trek, I'm saying Trek every day. I love Star Trek. When I'm not watching Star Trek, I'm thinking about Star Trek. I love it. It always has done. And one of my earliest memories is watching certain episodes of Star Trek that have stuck in my mind. And I've also got strong memories of watching it with my mum, who she loved Next Gen, as I did. And we watched Voyager together. She wasn't over keen on DS9, weirdly, but that was hit or miss for me. I really like Voyager. I enjoyed DS9, but of the three, I actually really like Voyager. But Next Gen is brilliant. But the present, we've gone back. I've gone waffling. Forget about that. The present I've been bought is a bit of wall art for the man cave. I want to say thank you very much to Chris and Jane who bought me this. Thank you very much. You didn't need to. They just didn't understand my geek buying process. So what I do is I see something in a shop and I look at it and I think, I want that. And then I'll take a photo of it and then I'll walk away and I'll go to 2 other shops and then I'll go, I want that, and I'll go back and buy it. I don't think I've ever walked into a shop, just picked something and bought it. You got to circle the drain a bit. Anyway, so Jane bought me this, which is lovely, and it is a bit of wall art from. Weirdly, it's one of my favourite Star Trek: The Original Series episodes, Operation Annihilate, which is the last episode of season 1. I haven't seen it for a little while. I should have really watched it again for this video, but I'll tell you what, I know it. I know what happens. So I don't need to watch it again, because I know. And it's one that I remember from a kid watching with my parents when I was not very old as well. So basically, the old Enterprise no A, B, C or bloody D or A star. It's just the 1701 Enterprise. And it's just cutting about in space on its way to a crazy planet where Kirk's brother, for some reason that we've never heard of before or since, was doing some kind of sciencey thing. And I believe he was played by Shatner with a moustache. Made all the difference. Because I know loads of brothers that look just like their brother but with a moustache. And they get into the solar system where this crazy colony is, and some dude's just ploughing into the sun in his shuttle, and he's like, oh, I'm all crazy, and then he gets near the sun and he goes, oh, I feel better now, boom. So instantly they think something's up. So we're going back to, we'll talk about this in a minute, but we'll talk about the episode first. So they're in orbit of the planet, they beam down, and they're waiting, they see a group of people, and they're like, hey guys, what's going on? And the group of people have got bars and sticks, and they're like, go away, we're going to beat you up, we don't want to, but you got to run away. So they zap them, and it turns out, long story short, there's these alien parasites going from planet to planet, and they turn up at a planet, make everyone crazy, kill them all, and then move on for reasons unknown. And it also turns out that these aliens that look like blisters, scabs, are well allergic to Gret's sun, which is why the guy in the spaceship at the start flying into the sun was like, I'm all crazy, and then he got near the sun and he was like, oh, I feel so much better now. Boom. That's why. So they find one of these like blistery, hideous things, zap it with the old phaser, which is where the artwork comes in, zap it with the old phaser. Note happens, Spock turns his back and it flies across the room in a very special effect. It's special and effective. It lands on Spock's neck, puts something in his spinal column, dies. Turns out Spock's been nerdled, hasn't he? He's not himself anymore. He just wants to murder, like he's just bought a new Bethesda game. How topical. and he keeps it in control. He's like, "Oh, I can do it, Captain." Sorry, I've got a cough. I think I've got TB. I'm like Arthur Morgan. That's your dad. And then, long story short, it's pain. He don't like it. It looks like they might have to leave him down there. But then they realise that these aliens are allergic to sunlight. It's the UV. They put him in a special lab that they've never been on the Enterprise. They've never seen on the Enterprise before. This is like the Daylight Research Lab. Bright lights. It kills the alien inside of him, but it's in blind. But as you've probably seen in series 2 and 3 of Star Trek original series, you know he's not really blind. Turns out Vulcans have got some kind of secondary eyelid that snapped down. That snaps back up. He's fine and dandy. McCoy's gutted because he's like, "I'm going to cure him, Jim." And he fires a light at him, makes him blind, cures him. But then, like an hour later, he's like, "Oh, I didn't need to send all that at him. I could have just sent him this particular wavelength of light that's invisible to anyway." And he's all upset. And then Spock's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm blind, but you've cured me, so you're all right, Doctor. We're still buddies." And then he went, "Oh, by the way, I can see anyway because secondary eyelids." So that's the episode, and this is the poster for it, which is lovely. I really like the style. They've got loads of original series episode posters, as if they're all individual films. There was one for one of my favourite episodes, and I'm the only person, apart from Shatner, I think, who likes this episode, which is The Way to Eden. I love The Way to Eden, and there's tons. I'd love to do a video just why I like The Way to Eden. Because everyone says it's the worst TOS episode ever. It's actually really clever. But it's so subtle with its cleverness that even very intelligent people watching it go, "This is just awful." But think people like me watch it and see something. Anyway. So we're talking about Operation Annihilate. And it reminds me a little bit of World War II propaganda art. Nazi and Soviet, unfortunately. He's a bit Aryan-y, but he's firing the phaser, which is, you could say this could be for any episode of Star Trek, but actually it is relevant to the story because there is a lot of episodes where this phaser's fired at these blister things, and it's a stylised piece of art. Yes, it could be several episodes, but actually it does relate to this. And it's got the written by and directed by. This episode is written by Stephen W. Karabastos, and it was directed by Herschel Doherty. Herschel Doherty. Got a Jewish first name and an Irish surname. That's America, isn't it? If that's not diversity, I don't know what is. Starring, of course, Mr. William Shatner and the now, God rest his soul, Mr. Leonard Nimoy. And co-starring, now rest his soul, DeForest Kelley. DeForest Kelley was in a load of really good cowboy films. If you haven't seen DeForest Kelley, where he often played the baddie, check out some DeForest Kelley cowboy films. And then you've got created by Gene Roddenberry in the logo there. And it's framed, and it wasn't a great deal. I'm not going to tell how much it was because it's a present. I know how much it was, but I'm not going to tell you that. But it was lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? It's going to go nice on the man cave wall. It's a really nice palette. I really like the oranges and the greys, and the fact that you've got the V, but you don't need to see the yellow. You don't know what I mean? It's a clever Pulp Fiction-y cover. Stylised, very retro, very before the 60s. Because Star Trek was 69, and this is very kind of 30s and 40s, like it's a serial like Buster Crabbe or Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, that kind of stuff. So that's my present really, and yeah, I'm going to start trying to have a bit of a Star Trek segment because I do love Star Trek. I really, really do. I love the philosophy. I love the ethos of it. I love the characters and the series. I like Enterprise. I think Jonathan Archer's a magnificent captain. The character I don't like in Enterprise is Trip Tucker. I think he's a terrible character, terribly portrayed. I think it's a scandal how underused Merryweather was in Enterprise because I think he was a fascinating character. He was the first generation of humans born in space. He grew up on a long distance freighter. He's the only one used to space travel in Enterprise, and I really think they should have done more with Merryweather and just been Trip Tucker, because he was just terrible. And I've also got a really nice collection of the old Eagle Moss little model toy spaceships. So that's me really, having a lovely time away. I've only had a weekend away. I had my aunt's 80th birthday yesterday. It was near the sea, so we spent the night at the seaside and then came home today. It was magnificent, really good. I got to see my uncles, aunts, that kind of people, and also some friends today in Skegness. I've been to Skegness. I wasn't going to tell you where, but I've been to Skegness. I saw some friends today I haven't seen for a while, so that's been nice as well. So finally, again, thank you very much, Chris and Jane, for the picture. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe and the bell. And if you're going to put a thumbs down, why don't you put a link to your YouTube video that you've made an effort with and you've put up so I can see that? Oh, you can't because you haven't got one, have you? It's dead easy to be negative. It's harder to create. Right. So, as ever, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. Bye!